Welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Today we're going to talk about exposing cyberbullying and how it affects real lives. We know and we've heard about how teenagers go through this. But what if I was to tell you that adults do this too? So let's look into this and see the signs and what could be going on in the minds of those who are actually doing the bullying, and what motivates, and how we can together overcome this so that we can put an end to this. So equality, sovereignty, respect for one another, and love for one another will be the way that we live our lives daily. It's really sad if you really think about it, but each of us, to some degree or another, have been more than likely cyberbullied to some degree or another. We're going to get into what brings about cyberbullying, what kind of personality is a cyberbully operating from, and what are some of the things that we can do to help remove this issue and stop it from spreading. It is very contagious, and it can actually take hold and ruin a platform. I've witnessed this myself, and I think it's time that I tell you my experience. Therefore, hopefully, by sharing it, that people can glean from it, get an understanding, and make their own sovereign choices, whether or not they're going to participate in the cyberbullying or whether or not they're going to starve it out by just not feeding into it anymore. You'd be surprised at who is capable of actually cyberbullying. These young ladies look like they're having a grand old time, but they're actually bullying, shaming, and harassing somebody without cause. And they're enjoying what they're seeing by the response of other people who are either joining in out of fear or the suffering that they're imposing on the person that they are completely making up things about in order to assassinate their character, their personality, or whatever it is that they deem to get the pleasure out of by attacking somebody and watching it all just unfold. They are not thinking about the consequences at all for their behavior. They're just going after it and having a good old time. But we expect this from teenagers and from children. But from adults, we're kind of held to a different standard there. We're to be mature. We grow out of those stages of awkwardness and picking on and bullying others. I'm going to read something for you guys. It's very interesting and very eye-opening, to say the least. You may not hear a lot about adult bullying, but it is a problem. Adult bullying is a serious problem that may require legal action. One would think that as people mature and progress through life, that they would stop behaviors of their youth. Unfortunately, this is not always the case. Sadly, adults can be bullies, just as children and teenagers can be bullies. While adults are more likely to use verbal bullying as opposed to physical bullying, the fact of the matter is that adult bullying exists. The goal of adult bullying is to gain power over another person and to make himself or herself the dominant adult. They try to humiliate victims and show them who is boss. There are several different types of adult bullies, and to help us get to know how they operate, we're going to go through them. There's a list of 5. The first one being narcissistic adult bully. This type of adult bully is self-centered and does not share empathy with others. Additionally, there is little anxiety about consequences. He or she seems to feel good about him or herself, but in reality, it has a brittle narcissism that requires putting others down. The second on the list is impulsive adult bully. Adult bullies in this category are more spontaneous and plan their bullying out less. Even if the consequences are likely, this adult bully has a hard time restraining his or her behavior. In some cases, this type of bullying may be unintentional, resulting in periods of stress or when the bully is actually upset or concerned about something unconnected with the victim. So this bully could have something else going on within their life, and you just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Therefore, them lashing out on you instead of the actual situation that they're upset about. The third category is physical bully. While adult bullying rarely turns into physical confrontation, there are, nonetheless, bullies that use physicality. In some cases, the adult bully may not actually physically harm the victim, but may use threats of harm or physical domination through looming. Additionally, a physical bully may damage or steal a victim's property rather than physically confronting the victim. So they will use threats of violence, stealing, or other means of their bullying in the physicality of, what is going on, more than they would use the verbal or the character assassinations. The fourth category is verbal adult bully. Words can be quite damaging. Adult bullies who use this type of tactic may start rumors about a victim or use sarcastic or demeaning language to dominate or humiliate another person. This subtle type of bullying also has the advantage to the bully of being difficult to document. However, the emotional and psychological impacts of verbal bullying can be quite keenly and can result in a reduced job performance and even depression on the victim that they have targeted out. And the fifth is secondary adult bullying. This is someone who does not initiate the bullying, but joins in so that he or she does not actually become a victim down the road. Secondary bullies may feel bad about what they are doing, but are more concerned about protecting themselves. So they join in and partake in this action, but truly are more concerned about this bullying making them the target. So out of fear, they join in, but this is not they're not the actual bully. They are actually reacting to the bully out of fear so that they don't become the target themselves. It's really sad. Workplace bullying or YouTube bullying can make life quite miserable and difficult. Supervisors or content creators should be made aware of adult bullies, since they can disrupt productivity, create a hostile environment, and opening them to a lawsuit and reduce morale. It is important to note, though, that there is little you can do about an adult bully other than ignore and try to avoid. After reporting the abuse to the content creator or supervisor, this is because adult bullies are often in a set pattern. They're not interested in working things out. They're not interested in compromise. Rather, adult bullies are more interested in power and domination. They want to feel as though they are important and preferred. And they accomplish this by bringing others down. There is very little you can do to change an adult bully beyond working within the confines of the law and the YouTube, as we're all in a partnership with YouTube and the content creator's regulations that are set up. The good news is that if you can document the bullying, there are legal and civil remedies for harassment, abuse, and other forms of bullying. But you have to be able to document the case. Adult bullies were often either bullies as children or bullied as children. Understanding this about them may help you to cope with their behavior, but there is little you can do about it beyond doing your best to ignore the bully. Report his or her behavior to the proper authorities and document the instances of the bullying so that legal action can be taken down the road if necessary. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the impact of bullying and how it affects children and some of the signs that we should look for as our children are online. Most of the time when they're not in school, they're on the computer or playing their games. Children who are bullied are more likely to exhibit depression and anxiety, changes in their sleep and eating patterns, loss of interest in activities they used to enjoy, health complaints, decreased academics, so their grades will slip, achievement at school, and even in participation. They will no longer show interest in participating in things that they once enjoyed. So I did want to at least touch on that we have a problem, with adult bullying, which is shocking, but I wanted to bring up some things to look for in our children so that way we can pay attention, and as the mature adults we are, that we can step in and shore up their confidence in who and what they are. Some of the trigger words or some of the things to look for if bullying is taking place on, your YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, the workplace, or we know somebody who is being targeted by such actions. We'll see words like they're fake, or character assassinations, or direct attacks towards people without merit and without cause. They may, as we as a collective are going through this amazing awakening, we'll hear that they're fake, or let's see, one of the ones I heard was a mogul, or something with the Harry Potter, which I just laughed hysterically. If you're not strong in your confidence of who and what you are, and you're just stepping into your awareness, These are things that can be very damaging and devastating to people who are maybe just beginning to wake up into their awareness. And that's the last thing that we want. What we want is to sure up your steps and to let you know how wonderful and amazing each and every single one of us are. And when these type of activities happen and these actions are taken towards one of us, actually, we need to look at it as if one is acting like that towards any of us, they're doing it towards all of us, as we are becoming aware of the oneness that we all are. I wanted to show you guys this graph of risk factors of bullies and victims. Bullies with the impulsivity, the previous victimization that they may have went through themselves. They may have had harsh parenting or be a harsh parent. They may have academic problems themselves, learning disabilities, or struggles in life that bullying seemed to be the answer for them to not have to be held accountable or answer for where they felt themselves that they are lacking. Substance abuse, and then continuing patterns of violence. This happened to them, so therefore they do it to another. The victims, on the other hand, can suffer from depression, anxiety, again, decreased academic performance, physical injury. They may become quiet, a lot of quietness, shyness. They're afraid to speak up. They have a low self-esteem, and they have difficulty making friends. So these I wanted to bring up because it is very important that we understand what happens when bullying takes place to both the bullies and the victims, to have some compassion and understand where the bullies have become a bully and what was the reasoning behind it, and what happens to the victims. And I have to say, a lot of times the victims of bullies will later in life become bullies themselves. I wanted to put this quote in there because it speaks volumes. Being a bully on the internet is a sign of insecurity and weakness. Rev Run. That speaks volumes to what we are dealing with and what is going on with bullies and the victims. My story is this. I thought I had made a friend. I thought I met somebody who was just right up my alley, that we really clicked. Then it was like a little knife went in my heart, and I found out that I was a friend, but the friendship was not reciprocated. And from there, it kind of steamrolled into this thing that's just happened. And I have to say, in the beginning, I was rattled because my heart was involved. And it's been several months now, and it just doesn't seem to be losing its steam. And I'm not quite understanding why, as I am not feeding into it in one way or another. Now, it being on another friend of mine's platform that I enjoy going on, watching the numbers go down of the people who are coming, and I want to see that place restored because it is a wonderful place, and the people, 99.999% of them are absolutely amazing. But it only takes one bad apple that could ruin it for everyone, myself included. So that's where my story is. And of course, I would not ever want or wish harm on anyone. I don't even want harm to come to the person who is, portraying these attacks to me. And I do appreciate that so many of you are coming forward with emails and letting me know that you are seeing these things for yourself to bring it to my awareness. And I thank you and I love you. But at the same time, I don't want this person looking bad anymore, or looking bad at all, from other people's perspective. And I also don't want people to be in fear of thinking they need to please someone or they'll be the next target of being bullied. So I'm hoping that soon that this will all resolve itself out and we can go back to being the oneness that we are all meant to be. Because it is a wonderful place that this channel has put together for all of us to come in and share and talk with one another and share the love and our amazing things that are going on within each and every single one of us. So, yes, in the beginning, it rattled me. Because when you think you have a friend to find out you don't, it hurts. It does hurt, you guys. But it's been several months. So it's kind of like old hat to me now. Kind of used to it. And I just don't feed into it. I figured by now it would be long over with. But, hey, such is life. And then now let's get into my conclusion. In my conclusion here, as I myself have been going through this for several months without response, I figured by now it would be over. But bullies are fed by different things. As I showed you the two girls enjoying themselves behind the computer, they enjoyed watching the response from other people who were then joining in, but out of fear because they didn't want to become the next target. So another concern that I have is, and the narcissistic bully, they don't care about the consequences for their own action or who else it affects. It could be one of their friends' businesses or YouTube channels or platforms that they're damaging, but in their own mind, they are just and they are right. They don't think about the others that are surrounding the situation that it's having a negative impact on. These are things that we need to take into consideration when we see these kind of actions go on. We think, starve them out. If you give them no ammunition, it will soon die out, which is true, unless they get other people to participate. Now, I know that several of you have noticed this, and I appreciate the concern, the emails, and the outreach, and the support that everybody is showing for me. I love you all so very much. If this was wavering me and messing with my walk, I would have more concern. I do want to tell you that we have the ability to take screenshots. We have the ability to get the information that we need when these type of things are being done to us. So don't be afraid to get the evidence that you need if you are being victimized in this manner. However, even with those actions, there is consequences that could befall the content creator. Always take it to the content creator's attention first. Let them make a determination so they can do what is right and just before you go on to YouTube, or if it's in a workplace where you're having such things happen to you. I know you won't get screenshots, but take it to your immediate supervisor before you go straight to corporate, so to speak. Because the last thing that we want to happen is for somebody's channel to get shut down because of somebody is having some problems with not being able to control their emotions and bullying others. I know it's easy for others to be able to see it, but sometimes it's very difficult when somebody that is doing such things to you is somebody that you would think is a very close friend and would never wish harm on you or the work that you are doing. Especially since the field that we are all operating in, and the gifts and the abilities and the things we are sharing with one another, the last thing we would ever think to find is a bully amongst us, as we're learning that we are all in this together. And the more of us that know how precious and divine each and every single one of us are, and the gifts and abilities are being stirred up within us, coming back into our remembrance, it really makes it hard to even fathom that there would be cyberbullying even taking place. So, if you want my advice and my opinion, is if you see things coming your direction, of some things of like manner what we've been discussing, ignore them. Just flat out ignore them. Hopefully they will get bored and go away. If it persists and persists and persists, well, then we're going to have to take different steps in order to correct the situation. Because we all love each other. We are all equals. It's not a competition. I love each and every one of you so very much, and I appreciate the concern that you have shown to me through reaching out with all the kindness and the support and the love. But I'm okay. I just want to make sure that other people are able to spot this out for themselves and do what is appropriate to take care of your own sovereignty and protect your own choices and your right to choose and your right to your gifts and your abilities that are within you are no less than or no more than my own. I may have several more years under my belt of dealing with these things, giving me a little wisdom and understanding, but that does not make me better than. What that has done is open my eyes to the importance of how it is so important that each of us come to the very understanding of this within each other and the oneness that we all are, so we can operate and do this dance, this energetic dance with one another in love, in harmony, in peace, in unity, losing the labels, getting rid of the competition, enjoying the gifts and abilities that we are all operating in, enhancing one another, and sharing our experiences. Because my motto is, share what you know so we can all listen and grow.